Better golf starts with more than just your swing. It starts with confidence, connection, movement, and believing in yourself. Welcome to the 8-Week Golf Edge for Women. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 8-Week Golf Edge for Women. I am Janis Thornton with JT Fitness and Golf, and we have SL Gillespie with us as well. So today's episode, we're going to talk about know what you're playing for. And I'm going to actually be going over 10 different exercises that I want you to be doing before you even get on the driving range. You can do these exercises at home, or you can do them on the driving range, whichever you want to do. So I'm going to jump over to my mat. This first exercise is a lat stretch. So we want to get our back to be awake so that way we can actually make a good rotation when it comes to our golf swing. So this exercise, I want you to take your driver, have it out arm width away, and we're going to hinge at the hips. And I just want you to sink into your body and just rock back and forth with this. And you're going to feel this beautiful stretch in your lat area, all up and down your back. And this is what we want. And when you do this stretch, you want to make sure that you are letting those hips sink back, just like you would in a hip hinge on your golf swing. And then just enjoy this stretch also. And you can go down, feel a nice stretch, and then come back up. Hold those stretches for about 2 to 5 seconds and just press yourself down. Keep breathing when you do this and come back up. And then do 3 to 5 of these, and your back is going to feel great. And especially if you are someone who sits a lot at work, you're behind your laptop all day long, you're driving a lot in a car, this is a great exercise to actually help open up your back. We're going to elongate that spine, which we need, so that way we can actually hit a great golf ball. So the lat stretch is the first one. Now this next one, we need to wake up our shoulders when it comes to our golf swing. We need movement, we need mobility in our shoulders, so that way we can make an effective turn in the swing. So I love this next exercise. It's called rowing. And I want you to think of as if you're standing on a paddle board, and you have to be able to row on both sides of your board. So you're going to start with the club out in front, and then I'm just going to have you keeping your arms straight. You're going to row behind you and then come back and row behind you. You're just going to row side to side, front and back, nice and slow, keeping those arms straight. And the nice thing is if you have any shoulder issues, your hands can help move this club and then help you get into a bigger range of motion. But just go slowly forward and back. And then let's get the mind thinking. Now we have to go the other direction. And I will say going the other direction is harder, at least for me. So, but practice that, going in both directions with this. Now, this is a great shoulder exercise because we want to get mobility in those shoulders, like I said, for that backswing. Okay, this next exercise is called external shoulder rotation. Again, we need mobility in our shoulders. We're sitting at a desk so much every single day. We end up getting hunched over. That is nothing good about that. So with this, you're going to take your golf club. You got to make sure you're not going to hit anything in front of you or behind you when you do this. You're going to extend your club out in front of you. Now you're going to come up overhead. I got to make sure I don't hit my ceiling. And you're going to come with the club behind you. So I want my arm to be at a 90-degree angle. And then I'm going to gently pull my arm back. You're going to feel this beautiful stretch in your shoulders. And if it hurts, I want you to ease back and only have a mild discomfort. You want to feel a nice, beautiful stretch in your shoulders. Again, hold for 2 to 5 seconds and relax. And then you're going to stretch again, gently pulling your arm back, keeping that shoulder or that elbow shoulder height. So if you need to do this in front of a mirror, please do so, because you don't want your arm down here. You don't want it up here. You don't want your elbow here. You want to make sure that it is back So that way your elbow's aligned with your shoulder when you do this exercise. And then, of course, you're going to make sure that you do both sides because we have a takeaway in our golf swing and we have a follow through in our golf swing. Both shoulders need to have mobility and have that external rotation. So just to review again, you take that club, put it out in front of you, you go up overhead, and then you can grab your club from behind and then making sure that your elbow is shoulder height, and then you just gently pull back. And actually that one feels really good. Okay, so now we got to wake up the hip area, the low back area. And with that, you're going to take your golf club, use this for balance, or use a desk or a chair, something for balance, so that way you can have good mobility in the hip area. So we're just going to do leg swings. I want you to just bring your legs front and back. And this is also a great exercise. If you sit a lot during the day, you definitely want to just get those hips woken up, going forward and back. And then you can even go side to side. And again, this isn't about, we don't have to become the Rockettes. It's not how high you can kick. This is all about just getting mobility in this hips area and having you go, having good movement. So just go forward and back and then side to side. Again, probably, I like to do about 5 to 8 of these when I do these and just let my hips feel really good. Let my mind, my hips just go. Okay, the next one are hip hurdles. This one is great to do actually out on the golf course also. So I love to walk playing golf. And I will say, by hole 13, 14, I might get a little more stiff depending on what time of year it is. And I love to do hip hurdles. And it's literally use your club for balance, and then you're going to bring your leg up and behind you. So I act like I have a rock or something, or a bench, small bench below me, that I have to get my hip and knee, lifting my knee and leg up so that I'm going over this imaginary rock. Come up as high as you can, going back and forth. But this just helps wake up your hips. If you're getting stiff, if you sit all day, this is a great exercise to do to be able to open your hips up. Of course, do both sides. I like to do 5 to 8 hip hurdles forward and back, so that way I'm getting mobility. So again, also slow and controlled. We like these movements, dynamic movements, to get everything woken up. And in your golf swing, it's actually more important to do more dynamic exercises than sitting there holding a stretch for 30 seconds. Studies actually show that if you sit and do just a stretching session, you actually end up limiting your golf swing more than if you do dynamic movements to really get your joints and everything flowing. Okay, so this next stretch, I'm going to put my driver down. This next stretch is called the world's greatest stretch because we want to get our thoracic spine, our mid to upper back rotating. Because when it comes to a golf swing, the rotation is supposed to come from your thoracic spine, not your low back. So many people get back pain because they're trying to actually rotate in their golf swing, but they try to do it from their low back. Our low back, our lumbar spine is meant to forward flex, extend, and extend back. So we flex forward and we extend back with our low back. Thoracic spine, rotate. So let's get into a deep lunge. You want to have this front knee between your ankle and your toe. Try to keep that back leg as straight as you can. So I have my right foot forward. I'm going to have my left foot down on the ground. So I'm going to take my right hand, put it by my ear, and I'm going to bring my elbow down toward my calf, and then I'm going to rotate up. I'm going to come back down, inhale, and then as you exhale, rotate up. Bring that elbow toward the ceiling. Now, if you want, you can actually, when you rotate up, rotate your arm up and come back down. So again, you're going to want to do 3 to 5 or 5 to 8 of those lunge rotations on each side. Okay, this next one, I love this next one. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit for this one because I need my wall. So with this, okay, I need a knee pad when I do this. These are called thoracic rotations. And again, our thoracic spine does not get enough love. The more that we can rotate our thoracic spine, the better. So you want to kneel so you're up against a wall. You want your hips to be as close to that wall as possible. And then I use my right leg is out just for support. I'm going to take my hands, gently put them by my head, on my head. Now I want to keep I have my left arm on the wall. So I'm going to draw a rainbow with my left arm and then rotate and come on back. So I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to come up and around, keeping my body as close to this wall as I possibly can. I'm going to come up and around. If you want to add, you can even add a side bend and then come on back. I guarantee you, you do that stretch on a regular basis, you're going to be opening up your upper back. So if you have a lot of tension in your upper back, that is a beautiful exercise to do each and every day. Like you can't do too many of those thoracic rainbows, and then adding in the side bend with it. But just on that exercise, definitely listen to your body and do what your body's going to allow you to do. Okay, this next exercise, I'm going to get on the floor, and this one is called open books. And again, thoracic spine. I can't stress enough, we want all that rotation to come from our mid to upper back and our thoracic spine, not our low back. So we're going to get on all fours, have your shoulders over your hands, your hips over your knees. I'm going to take my left hand, put it by my ear. I'm going to take a deep breath in, and then as I exhale, I'm just going to rotate up and then come on back down. Inhale, so you exhale, rotate up, and just come up as high as you can for you. Come up and down. Of course, with that exercise, you're going to do both sides, and I like to do 5 to 8 repetitions on each side, so that way I can really get my thoracic spine awake, because we need it awake. Okay, so this next one, we have 2 more. So this next one is for internal hip rotation. So in your golf swing, when you do your takeaway, you're taking that club away, you end up internally rotating on your trail leg, or you're supposed to be. And then when you hit through the ball and you finish your golf swing, you end up internally rotating on your front leg. A lot of people, again, sitting is not healthy for our bodies, and we lose so much rotation in our hip area, in our back area. So I love windshield wipers. These are literally one of my favorite exercises to do. I have my feet shoulder width apart, and then just drop your hips to the side. Go ahead, drop them to the other side. You're going to feel this awesome stretch in your hip area when you do this. Now, also, when you're leaning back on your hands, you want to make sure that your shoulders are down. You don't want to be sunk into your shoulders when you do this. Keep those shoulders, your head up, your shoulders down and back when you bring your knees over to the side. But this is a great hip opener to do. Absolutely love this one. And then the last exercise I'm going to show you are frogs. And again, another great hip opener. This exercise can be intense for someone who is new to this exercise. So really listen to your body when it comes to the frogs and just do what you can. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your knees go out wide of what's comfortable for you. And then you're going to just gently rock back and forth with this, just allowing your hips to open up. And I just gently rock slowly back and forth. I might hold for 2 to 3 seconds and then come forward. And this is a great stretch. Also, you can actually add in flipping your fingers to point toward you and then get a nice little stretch in your forearms as well. So it's kind of a double. You get 2 for 1 on this stretch. So this is a great stretch to add in. Also, like I said, listen to your body when it comes to with your hips out wide, rocking back. If it hurts, bring your knees in a little bit more. Otherwise, just allow your body to gently rock back and forth with this. So these are 10 great stretches that you can do at home before you hit the driving range. So now you've done this great dynamic warm up, and you can actually do these all on the driving range. I just happen to not like to lay on the ground when I get to the driving range. So I do these at home before I go to hit balls. But think about it. Now that you've allowed your body to become more awake, your body is moving freer. This actually allows your mind to be more free as well. Because I guarantee you, when you're hitting golf balls and your upper back is stiff, or your shoulder is stiff, or your hip is stiff, that's what you're thinking about instead of trying to think about preparing for the game and preparing for just actually making good contact with the ball. You're just too worried about what your body is or is not doing for that movement. So, SL, I want to send this over to you because, now that we've got their bodies warmed up, let's get over to the mindset of all this.
So that was awesome to watch. Yes, I was mentally doing the exercises and thinking like, okay, well, some of those might give rise to whole entire new swear words, but yeah, those are good. Anyway, so this is what's so cool about what you just did, like, and this second episode is all about like goal setting and intention and being intentional with everything that we're doing. And so, like the same way that your body needs the direction, like in a warm up, like you're just giving. So, like this movement is for hip rotation, this one's for shoulder mobility. Like your mind needs a target and being clear on like what you're actually training for. Like, are you building fitness, to feel better on the course, or is it to play more rounds without fatigue? Or is it maybe like to keep up physically with the people that you're attempting to build a business relationship with? Like, because when you know what, like why you're doing the work that Janis is teaching you here, specifically with the exercises, like you show up differently. You're not just exercising, you're preparing for something that matters. And like that clarity turns a workout into a strategy. And then, a strategy, especially in business, is what gets you the results. Right. So, taking that into like goals and your business golf game, we take the same principles onto the course. And, because this is where like so many women, like they leave the biggest opportunity on the table. Right. So, a lot of women will show up at a golf event hoping something good happens. Like they're hoping they have a good conversation. They hope they make a connection. They hope maybe they get a referral. And yet, hope is not a plan, not a marketing strategy, and it's certainly not making a sale, right? So when you're wanting to use golf for a career or business building tool, like a round of golf without being clear on your intention, it's just like 4 hours of fresh air. Like just saying, like that is so key. So, like the goal setting shift that I want to introduce here, and you know what they say, like shift happens, right? Like before any business round, like ask yourself, like, what do I most want to create from this opportunity? Is it like a stronger relationship with someone already in your network? Is it a real conversation with someone that you've been wanting to connect with? Or do you want like greater visibility, in your industry or your company? Like decide like what is one specific next step that you want to walk off the 18th green with? Because it's very much like we have a part of our brain called the reticular activating system or RAS, and it's the thing that makes what's important to us be on high alert for. So it's like you buy a car, that's the most common example, but you buy a red car and then all of a sudden you're seeing that red car every place. It's because your brain is like, oh, this is important. So by getting really clear on your goals and your intention before you go to play golf, before you go to work out, like what is it that I'm aiming to achieve here? Because that's going to put your brain needs that direction, right? And your brain loves specificity. It's like, oh, okay, this is what we're looking for, right? Or this is what we're doing, this is what we're aiming for. So that's one part of it. So the other part about the goal setting and being clear on your intention with your business golf is we're going to just do a little something that I call like the gap exercise. So because we're at the beginning of this series, like rate your current level of confidence using golf as a business tool, 1 to 10, and you might be a zero, however, like between 1 and 10, right? And now you can rate where you want to be. And you don't necessarily have to be a 10. Like maybe 5 is going to get you like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go do the damn thing. All you want to do is rate yourself like where you'd feel comfortable enough that you'd be willing to take the action. So the gap between those two, like that's not an issue. That's what I call is your breakthrough goal. Like that's where I start with all my content, my programs, my private clients, like your breakthrough goal. Because if you're going to set a goal, like let's make it a breakthrough goal, right? So naming it like really is the first step to closing the gap. So really like the lesson on this one, like it like the women who get the most out of business golf, like aren't the ones with the best swing. And if they're the ones who showed up knowing what they were playing for, you know, and whether it's like your fitness or your business, like your intention is everything, you know. Janice gives you a body that's ready to play, and the framework that I'm teaching you, gives your mind and your brain a map, you know, knowing why it's there. And like those two together, like that's what I feel is the real advantage. So this is, our 8 series piece, and this is my first introduction into that. So we're going to edit this part all out. Okay, so that's how I just wanted to relay the goal setting and intention part to your fitness as well as your business goals when you're playing golf.
So I love
Yeah.
though what you said that ladies don't have to have that perfect swing.
Mm-mm.
They don't have to be knowing that they can shoot in the 70s. What beginner golfers and women need to especially know, as long as you know etiquette around the golf course, as long as you can, I'm going to say laugh at yourself. Like if you hit a bad shot, laugh. Remember, it's a business space. They want to see how you handle
Oh, you
all of
so
this
nailed
stuff.
it. I apologize. I'm jumping right in. It's like that
No,
is
that's fine.
that is so true. It is, people are watching how are you responding between shots, between holes. And because if you're having a mental spiral, you're going to start to pull back. And you might think you're like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And yet you're not fine. And everybody knows you're not fine. So yeah. So that's what people are noticing. And also like when you're in your head having that mental, oh my God, cognitively, your brain isn't thinking clearly enough to be able to carry on a good conversation, because you're stuck in judgment and self-criticism, and that's not going to be the most inspiring lane or train of thinking to be able to come up with something, dazzling to say, or even like
Yeah.
to get you to the next hole. It doesn't even have to be dazzling, it's just to get you to the next hole. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So one tip I want to give late, especially beginner golfers,
Hmm.
and you're on this business meeting with these guys, especially when you're with a bunch of men, if you've hit a bad shot or you can't find your ball or whatever, just say, "Oh, let me throw down a ball next to you. Is that okay?" That person is always, I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, going to say, of course, just put it down here. Because especially if you're a beginner, these people don't care that you're a beginner because we all have been a beginner at some point. And I can always go back to when I was that beginner. So, and I know a lot of people can. They just want you to keep up with pace of play and then just have fun because you're going to find that there are so many men who are really crappy golfers also.
Kidding.
Just know that. And but also it's not unless you're playing for money, that's a different story.
Mhm.
That's a different story. But then I would also ask, if you're a beginner, to ask them, I'm too much of a beginner. Do you mind if I'm still learning the game? Do you mind if I don't play? And
Yeah.
that's okay to say. But also watch the people who cheat. They're not gonna, when you finish the hole, what'd you have on that hole? A four, when you might have had a seven. So, also make sure you can count all your strokes. But anyway, I just want people to know that you can, it's okay. We don't want you to get into that mental spiral. So it's okay just to say, hey, I'm going to pick up my ball, drop it up here, and reset, because that
Yep.
goes a lot farther than you going into this mental spiral down.
Yeah, because it's a much it's so interesting. It's such a metaphor for like, being in the bunker or in the water. It's a lot harder to get out of that when you're when you're in that deep than it is, when you're on the side of it. So yeah, it's learning to cut that off. And we're going to cover that in the next however many episodes we have left. So yes. So make sure you come back and we'll let you we'll let you know how to do that.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to put together, I have all these 10 exercises that you're going to be able to go to either of our websites and grab the exercises that you can do before you get started. And then SL is going to also have her tips in this document as well. So that way, if you want to grab all this fabulous information, you'll be able to go to our different websites, click the links that'll be in the descriptions for you to get that. So everyone, thank you so much for being here for episode 2. SL, is there anything else that you want to add to this
No,
episode?
no, I believe we've done a great job of saying just the intention behind everything is what's going to count. Like showing up at the golf course, mindless without a plan, isn't going to help build your business. Going or, showing up to do some stretches, mindless without a plan, isn't going to help. And, it's a easy way to just focus yourself into the success that you're wanting to have on and off the golf course is being intentional.
Perfect. Well, everyone, thanks for watching and have a great day.